This is a quick review for the Delaney TrueBrew drip coffee maker. I've been using it for a couple weeks. The short and long of the review is this is a perfect upgrade for people who love pod coffee makers like your Keurig or your Nespresso, but that want better coffee quality. It's not going to replace even an automated espresso maker, and definitely not a manual espresso maker, because if you're getting that, you probably want the full control on everything. But even though there's like in the title of the product it says a drip coffee maker, it's not really a drip coffee maker. It's closer to like an espresso infuser. It's got a permanent infuser in there. It does a puck. It grinds everything, does a puck, infuses it through it. And just again with the short form of the review is the reason why it can do so many multiple sizes while keeping the same quality is that it knows exactly how much water to draw per puck, and then it will dispose of a puck and grind more coffee and use that second puck for the bigger sizes, and it'll use varying amount of coffees, I believe, from using it, depending on the strength too. So if you're doing the full Carafe at bold strength, I do believe it uses more, it grinds more coffee, uses more pucks than if you were doing it at light, because it doesn't need to be as strong. But I've tried all of the sizes, and the taste has been consistent throughout. And for the little pre-review too is, if you're going to buy this, if you're moving from pod coffee to this thing, I would really suggest that you invest, you find your local roaster, and you pay the $3-4 extra per bag rather than use the grocery store roaster, because there's a really big difference. Alright, before the full review, you can hear it is a little loud when it's operating, but it is actually super quick. It's like pod coffee quick, and you have the size from espresso all the way to this included carafe that is, I believe, what, 42 ounce. Now the one thing with the sizes I've got to be just warn you is that the second largest size, the 24 ounces, you have about 8.5 or yeah 8.5 inches to clear to put your thing underneath here. So I suggest you go to the store and really measure your cup, because even with this cup with the lid on can't fit underneath here. This is 30 ounces, but most of the 30 ounces are now, they're very slim and tall, the thermoses. So I found this, so you'll want something that's wider, squatter. It does the coffee super quick, and you have all of the different sizes, and it'll even do just a full-on espresso shot. And it has a little platform here if you're making espresso. So I'm just going to do that right now. So 3 ounces, 1 espresso. And it does make it a little different. You have the crema when you're doing the espresso. So if you want to make a latte and you want to do double shots, it's better to do 2 3 ounces than 1 6 ounce. But even like the regular, like the 6 ounces coffee, it's very rich. You know, you can taste the oils in there. Yeah, obviously it's not going to be super dark if you're not using a dark roast, but it's not watery at all at any of the sizes, even at light. So I'm just going to go. So now I've got my type. So bold over ice. You can also, so this automatically grinds your beans. You can put the beans on top here, or you can use pre-ground. But I'm not ever going to use the pre-ground. I just get fresh roasted beans. I put them on top. I have another smaller container that's sealed, and in the dark so that the beans don't go bad as fast. It is nice. This container does have glass around here, so if it's very sunny, you can your beans can go stale a little quicker, but it has rubber around the whole edges, so it is a sealed container. I don't know about on the inside, but if they're bothering to put rubber seals on the top, it must be seals on the inside at least. And I haven't noticed any, difference, any staleness in the couple of weeks I've been using this. I don't want that. I'm going to do a bold espresso, and then you basically, you just need to put water in here. The tank is very well designed. It's very small, but even at maximum, it won't use the whole tank when you use the maximum size. But it is a very small tank, very easy to fill, and just bring to the sink. You don't need to bring it here. And as you can see, you can put it, the spring is recessed, so you can put it on a flat surface, no problem, and you click it in real easy. You don't see here as well, but it'll actually tell you if you need to do some maintenance. It's super easy. Usually the only maintenance you need to do is empty out. There's a wastewater bin in here, and when that needs to be empty, you should also empty the coffee grounds. I'm just going to do this first, and I'm going to show you what the waste looks like. Alright, so now it's delivering the espresso. And you have to wait until the brew button stops flashing. So you will hear, you do hear that splashing. That is water going into the wastewater bin inside. And now it's disposing the puck and pushing it into another bin on the other side. And there you go. So it stopped flashing, and then you can do multiple brews, different sizes, everything, and then you press the power button. And when you press the power button, it will flush the system out. What's really nice with the TrueBrew system compared to an automated espresso machine is that wastewater on the inside. So usually when you close an espresso, when you turn off an espresso machine, even the automated espresso machine, you need to put a container or a cup because it'll flush the nozzle out. But in this system, it does all of the system flushing into the wastewater bin from the inside. And from my experience, depending on the size obviously, you only need to empty it every couple of days as opposed to like always having a cup or something like that. Let's see if you can, let me point the camera down a little bit. Alright, down. So you can see there's the crema on top of that. So it's a nice and rich espresso. And obviously, if you're, ooh, that's bold. If you consider yourself like an espresso snob or a coffee snob, probably not the system for you, because you might want to go with convenience and flexibility of, you know, a full-on automated espresso machine that just does kind of the tamping, but you have more control on the grind size and everything, and the temperature that it's pushed through at. Or you might want to go with the manual espresso where you have even more control. But if you use you know, like the Keurig pod or those kind of things, or you have like a Mr. Coffee style drip coffee maker, but you want to have like, you know, Starbucks style coffee without any effort, this is your machine. And at $6.50, if you go to Starbucks often, it's actually a really good value, because locally in Canadian dollars, you know, like an espresso drink at Starbucks is maybe $5-6 or more, and a bag, I found a little local roaster that roasts on the same day and then delivers to my door, and that is $20 for one of those same, you know, the grocery style size bag. And like at the local grocery store, like the coffee is like $15, but it's stale, you know, $15-16, and this is $20 delivered, roasted right to me. And they say use it within 2 weeks or it'll start being a little staler. So, and you know, if you buy yourself a syrup, you know, you like vanilla lattes or something like that, buy yourself a syrup bottle on Amazon for $15. That'll last a month. You buy the coffee at $20 every 2 weeks. It's a lot of savings, even though the initial cost is kind of expensive. It's a great gift for people who, you know, want to have, you know, they want to have a latte style drinks, but, you know, like they don't want the mess. So, let's see, that's still in shop. So basically on the inside there's two receptacles. There's the coffee ground receptacle here. You can just dump that in your garbage or in your green bin. And then on the other side there is the wastewater receptacle. It's a smaller receptacle. It just fills up with water. There's an indicator on the machine that goes red and has like a specific little red light that says, oh, it's full, you need to empty out. And then I usually wait for that light to go on before I empty both of these on. And then this is the actual permanent infuser. You can wipe it down every now and then. There is a maintenance every 1 month. Every month you should soak it in warm, non-soapy water just to make sure there's no buildup inside. You know, super easy to do, and it's just a monthly maintenance. Otherwise, you know, when you're changing out the wastewater, just wipe everything down with a damp cloth and then dry everything off, and then that's it. That's all the maintenance. You know, every couple of days. This slides right in. And then the other thing too with the De'Longhi is that they actually come with two manuals. They come with a full manual, but then they come with this little booklet manual, and you absolutely 100% want to read this. It's really good. It's illustrated. On the manual espressos, it will give you tips on how to make the manual espressos, but on this, it gives you really step-by-step how to use which device, how to do that, you know, how to set the time with pictures, how to do the maintenance. See, this is the little, this indicator light is the, oh, you need to empty out the wastewater. And, you know, it has pictures and description. It's really good. These guides are really good. And as you can see, I keep it shoved next to the machine just so I can, you know, reference it when I'm cleaning, or, you know, if there's a mode I'm not sure about. I've tried all of the modes. I haven't done the use your own ground coffee, because I find that kind of useless, because the machine, just buy whole beans and the machine will grind it at the desired grind that's best for the machine. Because it's an automatic one, it's best to just let the machine decide on the grind. If you really want to control your grind, buy another machine. Like, this is not for you. Just spend the extra $400 and get a good manual espresso machine. But even the the iced coffee, it really works well. And I have like a glass I use for my iced coffee that's just the right size. And I was like, oh, what's the difference between the iced coffee, the over ice, and the regular grind? And I found out because I accidentally forgot to do over ice. And they tell you, put 2 ice cubes and then select the size and then do it, is because they actually account for the ice cubes in the glass, and they'll put less coffee in the glass, and I think they'll make it more concentrated for that size, so it doesn't taste watery even with the 2 ice cubes. When I was drinking it, I never noticed the wateriness, but when I forgot to do the over ice, it filled the iced coffee glass like right to the top, almost overflowing, versus when I do the over ice, it's got plenty of rooms even with the ice cubes to put some milk in and some syrup in. So there's that. Otherwise, this is a great machine, and it is a great machine for people, if you don't consider yourself a coffee snob and you don't want drip coffee, you don't want weak drip coffee, and you don't want a complicated system. Even the AeroPress, which is nice and does like a similar flavor, well, you gotta pour the water in, you gotta measure, you gotta heat it up in a kettle, so it's a more involved process. I put that tumbler in there, the big blue tumbler. I put the tumbler, I select the 24 ounce, and press the button. I make my lunch in the morning, and then I can just grab that, and exactly as easy as a pod coffee, but there's no plastic taste. There's not weak. I don't like cold coffee, so there is in the setting, you'll see in the blue book when you're setting it up, you can set the water temperature, and I put it to the level 3, which is the hottest, which is like burning hot right at the beginning, but it's great for the thermos because by the time I put the top on and it cools off a bit, it's like hot coffee all the way to the office. I drink it on public transit as I get to the office, and it's warm the whole way, hot and then warm the whole way.
Okay. Mm.
So DeLonghi provides you with a water test strip, and the first thing that you have to do is put this test strip into the water for 1 second and shake it off, and then let it sit for 1 minute. So my husband's just opening it up right now. But what this is going to do is it's going to let you see what your water hardness is, and then you set the machine to those settings. And we'll show you what that will look like. And 1 second, take it out, shake it, and leave it 1 minute.
So we followed the instructions. We did the soft water test. We waited a couple minutes, and that's our result. So it looks like we're at level 1 for soft water. So now we have to make sure that the machine is set for our type of water. So you're going to hit the settings button, and then you've got to scroll through a couple little, your clock, and then you need this guy right here, a little drop with like a, almost looks like a straw. Anyways, so we're set to 4, which is not our water, and we're going to go to 1, and then we're going to hit this. There we go. Hit the setting button. And there. Now the water is set to level 1.
Now my husband's just going to make me a coffee, and what you do is you just hit the brew button here to the coffee size that you want. Today I'm choosing 16 ounces. Yep. And then the type of coffee that you want. There's a light, gold, bold, and over ice. And sorry about that. That's pretty loud, but yeah, let's just take a little peek at what's going on in there. I only put enough beans in there for one cup. There is a minimum amount that you can put in. You have to put in quite a bit, but it's already flashing that it wants more beans for the next round, so see, it's flashing there. And we've got it brewing, so this is probably the part where we're going to speed up the video. So it's pretty straightforward. There's nothing too complicated about this machine, but here's the coffee. Don't worry about the film on the top. We did run water through the machine, so it should be good to go. So there you have it. Hello everybody, today is a new day and I'm making myself another cup of coffee. You can see here that it's splashing all over the place. It's driving me absolutely crazy. One thing that I noticed is that cups this size don't fit in the smaller ledge part. Like there's a fold out shelf that you can put your smaller cups on. I'm finding that a lot of my smaller cups don't fit on this little shelf, so as a result, I do get the splashing water everywhere, including my 20-ounce cups that are a little bit taller. It doesn't seem to matter what I use, so just be aware if you have children, you don't want them getting burned by this super piping hot coffee. Hi everybody, and again, this is another day of me documenting my coffee experience with the DeLonghi TrueBrew. Here I have 12 ounces, and I'm noticing that I am not getting the correct amount of coffee. And that's what I thought. It's just under 10. And another issue, another day, it's showing that I don't have any water in my container, but I do. So I don't know why I'm getting this light, but yeah. And while I'm at it, I might as well show you what's going on inside the machine. Now I don't have to change it for until tomorrow, because it seems to happen every 4 coffees or so. And look, water is everywhere. This is actually really clean compared to what it usually is. Usually it's quite muddy, and I usually have a lot more coffee grinds spilt all over the machine. So yeah, super irritating. I'm going to probably document more, and then my husband will write more in the written review.
Hi. So this is a review of DeLonghi TrueBrew drip coffee maker, which has a built-in grinder and can either serve a single serve, that is an espresso shot, 8 ounces, 12 ounces, 16 ounces, or a 24 ounces tumbler, or a 40 ounce Carafe. This also has 3 modes of coffee serving, that is light, gold, and bold. Apart from that, you also have over the ice, which could just be very helpful in warm weathers. Now I will just walk you through how I operate this machine, and then later on I can also give you other features of DeLonghi TrueBrew. So when I click on the settings up here, first we have an option to set up the time based on do we want to select the AM or the PM. So we use the shuffle button, which will either give us a 24-hour option or AM or PM. So in this case, I would like to go with the 24-hour option. Once I've selected that, I will press the settings button again. And at this point, if I want to change it, now it's 5:09 PM here. Since you're in the Eastern time zone, I will just press this here. We'll change it. Now this is the auto function, meaning if you want to use the coffee or you want to brew your coffee every day at the same time, you use this functionality. At this point in time, I do not want to use this, so I just press the settings button again. This is for the voice mode, if you want to keep it on or off. If you want to keep it off, it will just stop blinking, but if you want it to be on, it will just keep on beeping like this. Again, if I press the settings button, this is the level of temperature you want your coffee to be. 1 being the lowest and 3 being the highest, meaning the hot coffee. I like to have my coffee hot in the mornings, so that's why I would keep it at 3. Now, this is a really important feature of this machine, which tells us what is the water quality of the water that we are using. Right now, I've set it as 2 because that is what I got when I tested using the tester paper, which comes with this product. So it was 2 bars of red, and that's why I've set it up as 2. But it can go all the way up to 4, and you can use the shuffle button again to change the settings. Now, once we are done with this, the machine is ready for us to operate, and we can see the 12 ounces, 16 ounces options light up. At this point, I have an espresso shot here, and when I click on the size, you can see that I have filtered on the espresso. Since it's evening, I'll probably have it a light shot, and I will just press on brew. As you can see at this point, this is blinking, meaning I'm running out of beans and I would need a refuel soon, which can be done here at the top, which is kind of empty. in with a nice crema at the top after it's been poured. Perfect. Thank you for watching this.
Hi everybody, Doug Fowler here, giving you a review of this DeLonghi coffee maker all-in-one kind of gizmo doohickey. You've seen a video previously of me operating it. It works great. Couple notes. You open this panel here, and hopefully you can see this. You'll see a mess. Every time you make coffee, it's going to spill a little bit out. Sometimes worse than others. So just keep that in mind. It's not very clean. Coffee pods go out here. The extra water goes out here. Now me, I'm a self-professed coffee snob and a beer snob. I like my coffee good. Like it warm, like it strong. This thing does an excellent job making coffee. Satisfies all your needs. We had to send this one in for repairs. It got what I call the triangle of death. There's a little warning triangle where it says something's wrong with it and it can't be fixed, and we had to reboot it and restart it and over, and it just wouldn't work. So got a hold of customer support. They actually had my phone camera broadcasting them exactly what was happening and stuff like that, and it actually became the infuser, which is that piece, I believe, is what failed. So they sent me a box with this already pre-stamped and everything else to package it and ship it off, and that was last Monday. Got it back last night. So far it tastes great. I would strongly recommend this if you like ground coffee, good coffee, consistent coffee, and not burnt coffee, and you're tired of Keurig cups, K-cups, and the like. This is great. Now the downside is, this is where your beans go. Now, you can imagine what kind of mess it's going to make if you're trying to take them out to put decaf in their beans or the like. However, you can put grounds already made in there. I haven't tried that little function yet. Matter of fact, I didn't even know this came out. Surprised you and me. We get our grounds from various sources, Sam's Club and whatnot. We've never had any problems with it yet. What I would do though, if you are going to think about purchasing this, get the extended warranty. It'll pay for itself. I firmly believe that. This is, I can't remember what you paid for it. $500, $600. But man, does it make some good coffee. Hey, I'm Doug Fowler. Thank you so much for watching. Hope this review does some good for you. And we'll see you on the next review. Ciao.
That's it? What is it? I think that's okay, but но только это прозрачное.
Давай попробуем. Сейчас вообще говорят, что есть как раз не делаю, чтобы посмотреть, как он сделает.
Ага.
Еще заваривать, ну, скорее всего.
Ладно, я откину сейчас.
Нормально. Ну вот. Это не эспрессо. Эспрессо вот. Теперь можно эспрессо попробовать, но это надо вылить.
Все?
Теперь попробуем этот.
So we're going to make a cup of coffee with beans, not pre-ground. We're adding the beans. The top is a little hard to get on. Now we're going to select the size of the coffee. I'm going to choose 12 ounces. We're going to select the strength, which we're going to choose gold. And now we press brew. Machine first grinds the beans, obviously. And out comes your freshly brewed cup of coffee.
So I selected the pre-ground option. The infuser got stuck in the upper position. There was a small amount of white smoke. I did the troubleshoot video as I was sent by support. I also unplugged it for about 5 minutes and plugged it back in a couple times, and it still won't power on at all, despite holding it or anything. I've tried to basically everything I can besides take the machine apart to void the warranty.
Nothing but a mess. Good times.
Got a new device. It's still leaking.
가슴이